Greetings all, welcome to another episode of Pen and Paint, the channel where I merge my love of miniature painting with my growing passion for writing. I've got something a little different for you fine folks in this video. While perusing my pile of opportunity, I discovered a full unit of Necron warriors lingering within a bin of what I thought were leftover sprues. As I have more than enough warriors for my own army, these spares afford an excellent opportunity to try out a raft of alternative color schemes. For today, we're going to paint not one, not two, but 10 models, each in a novel set of colors. These are very much test schemes. The intention is to have fun and try out color combinations that seem interesting, without going too deep into details and whether or not they quote-unquote work. Our aim is to paint cleanly and with a procedural approach so that we have a clear set of steps that can be used as a foundation for review and future modification. Due to the large number of paints and schemes used, the presentation of paint and process information will be a little different than previous pen and paint videos. These schemes are being worked out largely on the fly. In addition, the constraints of time limit how much screen time can be afforded to each scheme. As such, the painting process is shown as more of a sketch than a tutorial. I quite like a number of the resulting schemes and have already earmarked a few of them for future projects. So if you see something neat that you want a full tutorial on, chances are I'll be making some version of it in the future. I'll spend some time reviewing each color scheme at the end of the video, pointing out what I think works, what areas could be improved, and some recommendations as to other types of models that they could be used for. Despite the fact that we're painting Warhammer 40k Necron miniatures, these color schemes are easily adaptable to other models, so don't worry if you play another army or game system. If you think something looks cool, try it out for yourself. Video timestamps are available for each scheme. If you'd like to read today's story or listen to it without the audio, links to pure text and audio versions are in the video description below. Feel free to mute the video if you're only here for the painting. A big thanks goes out to my good buddy Dave for providing the voice of Austin. We had a hoot recording this, so I hope you folks enjoy it. Today's story is Sparky's Combat Automaton Liquidation Warehouse. Sparky's, your one-stop shop for all things murderous and mechanical. This story is rated PG and may not be suitable for young children if you don't like answering awkward questions.
Huh. I don't imagine anyone has a hard time finding this place, or risk mistaking it for something else. Would you look at that? Jeez Louise, but Sparky's is huge!
That's what she said! Greetings, sir. Welcome to Sparky's.
Yes. Hello to you too, sir?
And what brings you in on this fine spring, winter, Easter morning?
I'm, looking for...
A combat automaton? You don't say. Why, you're in a heap of luck, young man. Sparky's Combat Automaton Liquidation Warehouse is your #1 spot for all things mechanical and murderous.
So I've, heard.
Come with me, Charlie, and let's see if we can't find something to fit your purpose. May I call you Charlie?
My name is Austin.
That's wonderful, Francis. Come, follow me, and I'll give you the grand tour.
Sure, and, what do I call you?
My name is Sectar Gamma Epsilon 31415 Refurb Murder Droid Kappa Beta, but my friends call me Sparky!
You're Sparky?
The one and only.
Why do they call you Sparky?
I haven't the foggiest. Now, follow me, Lionel. First stop, the Isle of Tracked Terrors.
Why does this one have paddles on the treads?
The Cuberus is an amphibious model, designed to be launched offshore. The paddles retract when it grounds.
Amphibious, eh? That explains the rubber ducky motif.
It's what we in the business call a killer cutie. Ha ha ha. Ah, I see that Crimson Beauty has caught your eye.
It's hard not to. I'm not looking for a winter model, though.
Oh, that's not a winter model.
Isn't it? Aren't those ice spikes on the tracks?
No siree, they're corpse spikes.
Corpse spikes.
Yes sirree, Bob. Even with tracks, it can be hard to crawl over a mound of bodies, especially when they're still wet.
Yeah, I never considered that.
If you know the slope gradient you'll be creating, I can assess whether or not you'll need the feature.
Slope gradient? Like, how steep?
Indeed.
How am I supposed to know?
The slope gradient of the amount of corpses? Excellent question. If you tell me how many targets you have and the square footage of the kill zone, I'll run a corpse curve regression analysis for you.
What's
a corpse curve regression analysis? Excellent question, Thomas. By using the number of corpses you're looking to create and the size of the space they're likely to be created within, as well as supplemental data concerning the details of the space and targets, one can calculate with reasonable accuracy the largest collection of bodies likely to pile up within a given area using a combination of spatial Poisson processes and Markovian source sync analytics.
I see. Sounds efficient.
Indeed. So tell me, Jenkins, how many targets are you expecting?
Well, the Strive...
Hold it right there, Ted. In order to maintain a degree of plausible deniability, I cannot know the names of those you're intent on eliminating.
Yes, of course. I understand. I expect the collective to have some 30 or 40 members.
Does this include collateral damage?
You mean bystanders?
Yes, indeedy.
Nah, it's a closed meeting with the
Ahem.
With the corporate clients. Maybe 10 or 20 of them.
Excellent. And the location?
Yeah, small warehouse.
Single story, or multiple?
Single story.
Over 9,600 square feet or under?
Under, I think.
Perfect. A moment, please, while I make the calculations. Beep, beep, boop, beep. Initial analysis gives only a 12% probability that your application would require the use of corpse spikes. If you're able to provide additional information, I can perform a more thorough analysis and...
No thanks, Sparky. That's fine. I'm not actually interested in a tracked model.
Oh? Looking for something a bit fancier?
Well, if you...
Of course we have fancier models. Follow me, Dennis, and I'll show you our collection of bespoke, one-of-a-kind, and prototype models.
My name is Austin.
It sure is, Angus.
It's made of meat.
My, but you are perceptive. It is indeed made of meat.
But why is it made of meat?
I haven't the foggiest.
It's dripping.
That's to be expected.
It is?
Of course. It's made of meat, after all.
I see. Can we,
Move along? Certainly. This thing gives even me the willies. And I once wore a victim as a skin suit. Ha ha ha.
Wait, what?
This way, Peterson. You're going to have to speak up, as it's very loud.
Shut it off!
What?
It's too loud! Turn it off!
Pardon me? The turbo fan is very loud. You'll have to speak up.
Turn off the engine, Sparky!
There, much better. You don't have to yell, Richards. I can hear you perfectly fine as it is.
I don't think I need a jet-powered combat model, Sparky. Stealth isn't...
It's turbofan powered, not jet powered.
Whatever. Stealth isn't a high priority, but I'd rather not announce its arrival from a mile away.
I see. Unfortunately, for airborne models, decibels are inversely proportionate to size.
You mean, the quieter they are, the bigger they get?
Precisely. I knew you were a smart one, Jimmy.
Austin.
Whatever.
How big are we talking?
Well, our most popular models are suspended from the ceiling above us.
Above us? Holy jeez. They're huge.
As I said, less decibels, more big.
But those wingspans are massive.
Indeed they are. Engine noise is positively correlated to power output and speed to power. You can't go fast without going loud. And if you're going slow,
you need an increase in surface area to offset the reduced wind speed and produce sufficient lift.
Did I say you were smart? You're positively brilliant. Yes, you've got it dead on.
But that big? It seems excessive.
Well, to borrow some lingo from the young ones, combat automatons are heavy AF.
Don't you have any lightweight models?
I think you're thinking of assassin automatons.
Okay, sure. Do you have any assassin automatons?
Sir, this is Sparky's Combat Automaton Liquidation Warehouse, not Ember's Assassin Automaton Clearance Storehouse.
Embers? Where's that?
I retract my previous statements about your towering intellect.
I'm sorry?
Sigh. Please follow me, and I'll show you to our bipedal models.
Wait, where's Embers? Maybe what I need is an assassin automaton instead of a combat one. I have to say, Sparky, I really like this one.
You have a keen and discerning eye, sir. Some people think whirling death blades are old-fashioned, but I prefer to think of them as classics.
Unfortunately, it's kind of pricey.
It is one of our more premium models, Dexter.
I can tell. And I don't mind paying for quality, it's just that, well...
The missus sent you in with a budget, eh?
Something like that.
Ha ha ha! Women, am I right? Well, that's just fine, Jacob. We do have a modest selection of refurbished units for the price-conscious consumer. However, I'm legally obligated to inform you that they come with no warranty and that there is a small chance they'll short-circuit and enter a rage-fueled killing frenzy that can only be stopped with their destruction.
Oh, that's not a problem. I wasn't expecting to retrieve it.
Ah, perfect. Sending a message, I see.
You know it.
I've got just what you need. Follow me. This model here is your standard aimbot, rugged, road tested, and with proven reliability. This one has been refitted to accept a larger than average self-destruct charge, anything up to the size of a K-12 plasma explosive. If you don't care about the surrounding buildings, you can set it to detonate at a preset time in the event of a critical shutdown and or when a well-defined specified target enters its blast radius.
Does it come with a self-destruct klaxon?
Does it?
Warning, imminent self-destruct. Warning, imminent self-destruct.
If you prefer a feminine touch, the klaxon includes the following female option.
No, that's okay. I get the idea.
So how about it, Tyrell? Does this bad boy meet your needs?
You know, I think it just might.
Excellent. I had a feeling it might.
I guess it doesn't happen to come with a K-12 by any chance, eh?
Ha ha ha. Not at this low price, buckaroo.
Nah, well.
Although? You know I really shouldn't be telling you this, but...
Telling me what?
You seem to be on the level and quite a swell guy, Stevenson. So just between you and me...
Yes?
Sparky's Combat Automaton Liquidation Warehouse doesn't just sell combat automatons.
What do you mean?
I'm sure that a man as worldly as yourself is aware that there are a wide range of different kinds of automaton.
Of course.
Including those of a more, how should we say, personable nature.
Certainly, yes.
Admittedly, such models tend to be on the pricier side.
I see.
But that does provide a bit of wiggle room, as it were, for some bonus merchandise.
Such as?
If you were to purchase both this fine fellow here and one of our more charismatic models, I could include a complimentary Tailguard incendiary canister. It may not be plasma, but if you're looking to make a real statement, and it sounds like you are, nothing makes a headline like a localized firestorm.
Please,
don't feel pressured. I know you're on a budget.
Do you have an Argonian maid model?
You know, I think I might. Just don't tell my boss about the deal, okay?
I thought you were the boss, Sparky.
Oh yes, that's right. Ha ha ha. Why don't I get my son to wrap this fellow up and we can't check out the back room?
Your son?
Hello,
Oh.
sir.
Hey there, sport. Can you get this unit prepped and crated for this gentleman? The two of us are going to check out some other merchandise.
Sure thing, pop, pop, pop.
Thanks, buddy. Sweet kid takes after his mother.
Sure.
Follow me, Roland, and I'll show you our inventory of special models. And before you ask, no, we don't have any refurbished units.
Lord, I want one. Ugh.
Ha ha ha! That was Sparky's Combat Automaton Liquidation Warehouse, inspired by the Necron Warrior models produced by Games Workshop for their game Warhammer 40k. I hope you enjoyed the tale. I've got to say this was both a wonderful and terrible painting experience. I'm more of a batch painter when it comes to making videos. I prefer working with an established recipe when painting on camera, so I can click along without worrying about technique and color selection, relying on muscle memory to efficiently get the footage I need. Oftentimes the model you see me painting is the last of a unit and I'm operating more or less on autopilot. With these Necrons, however, that was far from the case. Not only were they all one-off schemes, but I hadn't realized how long it was going to take me to finish them, so the editing process was rather substantial. On the plus side, I now have 10 color scheme rough drafts that I doubt I would have had the motivation to try out otherwise. Every scheme has at least some redeeming aspect that I'll be making use of in future projects. Let's briefly go over each. I don't have much to say about Ocean Depths. It's a solid palette that I don't feel needs much attention. Perhaps darkening the blue shadows to add definition, or swapping out the green tinted metallic substructure with a brown or copper for warmth, but as is, it works perfectly well. I'm tempted to try out a tweaked version of the recipe on a spare towel broadside battlesuit I've got kicking around. A small ocean world themed expeditionary force might be a fun little project. Most of the paint schemes for this video started with a word prompt to inspire color selection. The original prompt for this one was Peach Bellini. However, I quickly discovered the paints I selected produced more of a flayed skin effect. As a whole, I think it's a rather hideous model though. The carapace could be tweaked for a flesh recipe, and the late addition of true brass highlights to the substructure is something of a game changer for me, being an approach I ended up using for other models and will undoubtedly use elsewhere. Together though, and with the hideous orange-yellow Gauss light, it's pretty bad. I do not recommend. I quite like the overall effect of copper and bone. The palette is a little flat and one-dimensional, though I'd be hard-pressed to pick a Gauss glow other than pink. Even the base works with this scheme. As with Ocean Depths, there isn't much that I think needs tweaking other than a touch more contrast and maybe a bit of panel lining. The bone recipe might work well for skeletons or Ossiarch Bone Reapers, keeping the pink fire for a kind of hellish internal glow. Radiation Leak is hands down the coolest scheme in the entire video. The only criticism I have on it is how challenging it is to base the carapace armor in black after the substructure was painted. If you're wanting to try this out yourself, I recommend conducting the following full model test. Before assembling, prime all the components in black first, then paint all the glowy bits in white, then assemble. I suspect the extra time spent building up white over black and the touch-ups that need to be done after assembly will be more than offset by the extra care taken when painting the carapace. I'll certainly be revisiting this scheme in the future. I have a Vampire Count's army in the closet, and I think it'll work well for things like hex wraiths and other spirits. Concrete Blues is another solid little scheme, this time for a winter-themed army. Before committing, I try a soft purple Gauss glow instead of the blue to play off the subtle purple wash on the substructure, as well as to pull the model forward from what will almost certainly be a blue-white wintry base. The palette itself reminds me of the old Necron Pariah color scheme. This is another scheme that underwent a name change mid-paint. Originally called Molten Earth, the intent was to build the carapace up in earth tones, then add a small amount of grass flocking. However, adding the dark wood speed paint produced a bronze-like effect, so I decided to roll with it. It needs a bit of figuring out to work, but somewhere in there is an easy recipe for antique bronze. The Molten substructure isn't great and requires considerable work. Luckily, there are a bevy of recipes elsewhere that would do the trick. The whole effect gives me a magma elemental vibe. I don't think Berry Blast works without the orange glow. I also went fairly heavy with the purple substructure and would probably pull it back to something closer to what was done in Concrete Blues. With a touch more silver, perhaps a bit of off-color glazing or highlights to the carapace to provide a little tonal depth, I think the color scheme is solid. The carapace's visual texture is, for myself, a lot of the appeal. As such, I'd limit using it to either organic surfaces, as with Tyranids, or heavily weathered hard surfaces. Woes is the cleanest model of the entire set, and I'm very pleased with the results. Both carapace and substructure are surprisingly smooth, and the pink accent is excellent. I could see this being used more or less unaltered for Eldar striking scorpions, or wood spirits in a wood elf or Sylvaneth army, where the pink can be used for roses or other blossoms. You'll certainly see this recipe again. So I did not intend for this to happen. I noticed that none of the schemes had yet to include yellow carapace or blue substructure, and I thought I'd paint something fun and summery. What I got was a minion. On the plus side, both the yellow and blue are really crisp, especially the blue. I absolutely love the models and vibrant colors of 2nd edition Warhammer 40k. Minion madness screams 90s Games Workshop. I think it would make for an excellent base for an Olden Demon competition piece. As a single unified scheme, I don't think much needs to be done to Midnight Hunt to use as is for a Necron army, save perhaps pushing the red shadows with a touch more purple. The red and green contrast is spot on, and the NMM substructure works surprisingly well. It has more than a little Novak Dynasty vibe to it. Where I feel the scheme shines, however, is as a base for a Vampire Count's army. The purple-red rising to orange is an almost perfect old-school Vampire Count's color. Even the underpainting offers a solid premise for a recipe. Rather than going heavy on the speed paint, I think if you were to glaze a bit of red to tie the colors together, followed by 2 or 3 rounds of highlights for bones and tendons, you could produce a fairly gruesome, skinless monster effect. This is another scheme I'll definitely be returning to in the future. Overall, I quite like the results, and while I'm unlikely to do another project like this on camera, I'm glad I took it on. Another big thanks for Dave for his performance as Austin in the story. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. If you have any suggestions, questions, or feedback on anything you've seen in this episode, please comment below. That's it for today. See you next time.